the right. If anyone is like, nope, I thought this was going to senior because we flip-flop on you guys sometimes, then that would be the bomber room, and I'm not going to have hurt feelings if you jump out. Okay? I know we're all multitasking training coaches and training ourselves and all that good stuff. So tonight, my name is Rachel Richards. I am going to help you with the way that our businesses blend and how we can start to experience predictable growth in our business and really use all of the momentum to be in a state where we see constant progress and growth, and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to share what led us to that space, and also what we are hearing. This weekend we were able to spend time with Dr. A and Dan Bell and Terry and David Miller and people that have a really good handle on duplication and this mission. And so we would be fools to not share that and really bring a lot of that back to you guys. So tonight's going to be a little bit of a grab bag. This series has provided, the former calls have provided some of the legwork, but tonight I'm going to give you some things that if you work alongside your team in this way, I would expect that they'll have fun, that the results will become predictable, and that you will be able to gain some momentum in your business. So let me share my screen. I've kind of stalled a little bit to let everybody, oops, let's see, this thing is giving me lots of trouble. Do you guys see this blur? Is it blurry? Okay, yeah, we've had a good time with this. So let me see here. Stay on page. The Canva has like disappeared. That's always fun. All right, well, I'm going to stop my share and try to deal with it behind the scenes and see what's happening. I don't know if it's because it was looking beautiful a moment ago. All right, hang tight. The obstacle is the way. We have come from a weekend where we had like no power and all kinds of good stuff. So I am confident that I can work through this. Are you guys seeing anything on my screen now? If someone could come off mute, I think that would be Ashley. What are you seeing, Ashley Barnes?
I just see you right now.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me try one more thing. Okay. Share my screen. Let's see what happens if I do. That is so strange. Okay.
Someone in the chat said to click refresh on Canva.
Yeah, I did that. And it is just not, hang tight. There we go. Why is it when I go to share, it's only allowing me to share my desktop right now, so that's part of the issue. I don't know why that is. It's never done that before. I have it up in front of me now. So the presentation is fine. I just can't figure out why it won't allow me to share. So let me try one more time. Sorry guys, super odd. Okay, I think we're going to be in good shape. You should see a very messy something right now. Okay, and then boom.
Yay, got it.
All right, thanks guys. Sorry about that. It happens, right? All right, so here we go. I'm going to pick up some time. Growing EDs can feel like this. Put a 1 in the chat if you're like, yes. Feels like algebra, advanced math, geometry, anything that you're like, ooh, made me pull my hair out, right? So that can be how it feels to go to ED, grow to ED, stick ED, go beyond ED, blended ED, 8 points, 9 points. I get it. It's maybe something that seems ambiguous or hard to replicate. It's not though, okay? It's not, and we're going to clarify that tonight. So let's talk about it. Obviously, some people are joining that are fairly new. So for every $1,200 in volume, we get a point. Our business is based on points. A healthy business at Optavia is growing by 2 points a month. 1 point in clients, right? 5 clients makes up about $1,200, and or 1 new senior coach. So when we blend and we say, I've added a team member, I've assisted them, and I also added 5 clients, we are blending our business and we are creating a very healthy business that over time is going to give you an incredible amount of financial health, purpose and fulfillment, and time freedom. So these are the different ways that we can reach ED. When I was new, I did not know that you could have, say, 10 clients and 3 senior coaches, or I didn't know the blending. I was like, wow, this is incredible. So you can go with 15 to 17 clients all by yourself and attain ED, but that's not the recommendation, or it's not, I would say it's not the mission. The mission is always to start getting healthy and bring someone with us. Start getting healthy and bring someone with us. And so that's how the blending model started, and it will finish that way if we're truly missional in our heart, right? It's not just about supporting clients, it's about getting them to go educate their community. And that's why blending is also compensated so well, because the company is trying to protect the mission. And so if they see that you're missional in your efforts, they're going to reward you accordingly. We are paid for impact. And the more impact we make and the more communities we break into, the more the company is willing to share with us. And so it's really pure and simple if you allow that to be in your mind. Okay. How do we get there? If you were to ask me, I created this little sticky map thing. And this is kind of coming away from 5 years of coaching and looking at the fact that no matter how many trainings I go to, there's nothing new under the sun. That it has always been this way, and this has always been the recipe. Now, how we get there or tools that we use, they have varied, right? Sometimes they're good tools, sometimes they're confusing. I get it, but right now we've got some pretty clear ways of doing it that will lend to replication and duplicity, and that's really missional. So the first thing your business needs, especially coming out of senior coach, let me kind of talk to those folks right now. A clear why for going past that, right? Maybe when you started coaching, you just wanted to help some people that were noticing, and that's beautiful. And you didn't choose to refer, which is great because you're going to get that accountability. But now you're like, okay, well, I wanted to help people. I've already secured my first 5 clients and I'm paying for my program. So my program is no longer an expense for my family. But now what, right? So if you're not sure why you would continue to impact lives and continue to get others healthy, then you may find yourself finding some of these other sticky notes challenging because your why is not clear. And we spent some time with Dr. A in a really neat setting, and it was so intimate and awesome. And he said, the reason why people are not successful in their business is because they don't have a clear why. And someone challenged him and said, well, what do you mean? So like, here's my why. And he said, well, I like what you're saying about your why, but everything you listed was for other people. And I applaud you, and you're an empath, and you're going to make an incredible coach for being an empath. However, it's not personal enough to drive you on your hardest days, because we are still human and we will falter if it's not meaningful to us, if it doesn't hit home, if you wouldn't cross a bridge for it and get sweaty for it, and if it doesn't mean something to you intrinsically, then it can be taken from you. So if we have a why that's very shallow, or it's old, or it's dated, then when things get going, we just shut down because we're not driven internally anymore. So anything that's outside of you is external motivation, and it will falter and it will fail you. But if it's internal and you tear up and cry when you think about it, like what would that be like to have that kind of freedom or impact or whatever, then when things go rough, it's hard to give up because you've got a very clear why. I spent a good bit of time on that because no training will impact someone's business if they do not have a clear why. The other reason I spend time on that is because if you don't have that skill with your clients and your coaches, it will be hard to blend. And this is a blended ED training. So if you can't awaken someone to the point of like, I hear you, you want to be around for your kids. I hear you, you want to be healthier for your husband. I hear you, you want to be a better caretaker. But if you were to be selfish for a minute, what else, right? And if we don't have that, then clients are not attached to their program. They have big trouble integrating, and they have big trouble showing up for themselves. Okay, so this piece, this clear why I want to put a big heart around it, because it is the heart of your business. Okay, then it goes to the next sticky note, which is your total health story. If you've just been telling healthy body because you're a new coach, totally fine, but you're going to evolve and you're going to start to talk about many other aspects of health that I will get to in a moment. But your story is your business. So if your story isn't tight or right or clarified, you'll have a hard time posting. And when I don't know what to post, it's because your story's not oozing out of you anymore. So that's more my comment for people that have been around a while and they're having a hard time with going to ED and beyond. Many times it's because your story needs to be refined, and maybe because we need to level up in our health too. And I'm not just talking about physical. Business hours being set. If they're not set, and if there isn't a morning routine that protects your health, mental, physical, spiritual, right? And there isn't a twilight routine that protects your sleep and your sanity, then it will be hard to work in structure. And so when this was something Dr. A said as well, he said, you cannot multitask. Multitasking means you're failing in both areas. Do not be on a power hour and playing on your phone. Do not be sitting with a child that is designated quality time and working while you're talking to them. We need to have business hours. This is a wellness company and we need to be well, okay? And we're not going to be if we do not have designated times for doing X, Y, and Z. Power hours. Power hours are being provided to us from one of the top leaders at Optavia. They're not guessing. This is something that is being put on. It's recorded, but this is 1 hour a day to touch your business. Now, if you need to do it 15 minutes, 4 times a day, beautiful. If you need a half an hour and a half an hour, beautiful. But none of these other pieces work without having a clear time that you are working and doing the actions in your business. So if you're not attending a power hour and you're kind of sporadically posting, you will have a hard time. You might get to ED, but you'll fall back. Okay, so I'm trying to give you the path to blended ED and beyond, and have a predictable business that is always going by 2 points. So this is something that if you're not dedicated, I would let your mentor know, I want to be on that power hour. How do I incorporate this into my business hours so that I'm not doing busy work? All right, the next thing is being on your trainings, right? So this sticky note might change, but being on your trainings without a reminder, maybe a one-time reminder, maybe 2, but after that, this is your business. You're a CEO, you have a wellness company, and you get to go out and make a huge impact, but you're not going to if you're not trained. If you lack the soft skills, it's going to be hard for you to grow to ED and have fun. I mean, I want to have fun. And when I don't know how to do something, I get frustrated. So trainings are to help your fun factor go up. When you're good at something, you have fun. When you're good at it, you smile. When you're good at it, you're confident and you live out loud. So trainings are very minimal these days. We're honing in on just-in-time training, not just-in-case training. And we have 2 right now. So you should know, yep, every week this is what I'm doing. A working map. A map is not something that you need to turn in. You do not work for anyone. You're self-employed. You get to share your map and your vision and your dreams with your coach. And we have a coaching app. So if you're not using the map as a tool and you're viewing it as homework or something you have to do, then that will shape the way that you do your map, and it won't have the creativity and the strategy that it needs. So that's something to work towards. Team coaching. This is a vital part of our business. There is no one that has this business on lockdown. Everybody has different skills, different talents, different personalities, and every client deserves team coaching. If this is difficult for you to posture, work with your mentors, role play, tell them what you're saying, let them coach it, and because this single sticky note will prevent you from sponsoring. Okay, you will not add people to the mission if they're not meeting with your mentors. Your mentors know how to awaken your clients to want to pay it forward and see that it's safe. If you don't possess that skill today, no big deal. That's why we team coach. Your only skill is to get them on the mentor call and make sure that if you add 4 clients, you have 4 integration calls. If you add 5 clients, you have 5 integration calls. When I look at a coach that's going to ED, for every client, they have integration calls. And that makes their business very predictable. Attending events, really marking your spot, saving a percentage of your income, making sure that events are a priority, whether local. And then lastly, we're going to talk about this one a little bit more, creating community, not just on social media. This is something that is starting to show up in our business, and I'll elaborate on that in a little bit. But community is not just behind the screen, okay? So this is, if you were to say, how do I go to ED? How do I go to FIBIC? How do I go and keep going? All these sticky notes are something to work on with your mentors. And if there's any that you're not good at, do not judge yourself. Just say, I am not very good at getting to events. I'm finding that I'm having a tough time doing that. And I'm also not getting my clients on coaching calls with other people except for me. So can you help me with that? Because I understand it's a secret to success. Okay, if you are coachable, there's no stopping you in this business. I do want to give you something in regards to that. So as you grow to ED, you might have started out teachable. Teachable is a learner. A learner collects information. They take copious notes. That's good, right? To be a learner is good. But to be coachable means that you not only take in information, but you act on it, and it creates change. So we don't want to consume information. We want to act on the information that we're given. So is your story evolving? Has-beens, right? Have you guys ever, I mean, you know some has-beens, right? And they're just not inspiring anymore. And it's because they have old and irrelevant and not current information. So if you're a coach, how often do you talk about your vocational well-being now that you've become a coach? What about the financial well-being that it's bringing you? How about your mental well-being? Do you find yourself being more patient, less road rage? All of those are posts. It's not, I don't know what to post. Maybe we're not thinking about it correctly, right? Familial well-being. How are you operating in families that might be dysfunctional, but because you are developing the ability to be resilient through your life book, you're like, I'm more stable. Social well-being. You're like, oh, I was an introvert, but this is teaching me how to create connections at the grocery store and all of that. Spiritual well-being, right? So our story is always being worked on, but we are not always sharing it. And so when you think about posting today or tomorrow, remember these 7 areas that we impact so that you can, physical body is up at the top as well. And obviously this one here, if you're having a hard time growing your business, maybe it's time to set some new goals in your body too and live it out loud. And so these are going to be things that you'll always have information on. If you're an integrated client who's on their trainings and being mentored and coached, there's no way that you don't have a story that just oozes out of you because you're being challenged quite a bit to become the dominant force in your life. And that should provide a lot of content. Okay, so next slide is this mission is completely dependent on duplication. So look at how easy we're making it. The client has an app. They have their support page, whether it's, you guys all know your support page. The community calls that we just got off of, and then if you add others, their habits of health system and you as a guide. So client is good, right? If they're plugged into all of that. Coaches have their app, their jot form, their coaching guide, just-in-time training, and layers of mentorship. So we're so provided for, and so is the client. We do not need to be experts. This is why we do not need to wait to start coaching. We can take people with us because all the tools are there. And it's gotten so cleaned up that we can help so many more people than we used to really well. So is your business on fire, right? If you're like, well, not really, it's kind of the coals are turning white, or yeah, it is. I just hit manager. I'm so excited. I don't know what that means, but I feel like I'm adding clients. I have steady health assessments. I want to help all of you. Okay. So, one log on the fire is social media. I want to tell you a little story from my perspective, and I shared this with Michelle Bamba. So, during COVID, our businesses grew 300%, right? The company was blowing up. It was incredible. Maybe you put a post and it was like wildfire. Well, that's because you had a captive audience and everybody was behind screens. Okay. Then the world opened up. Everybody is out on recess, and half the people have left the building, right? And now we're expecting that that same method perhaps is going to help us. Well, actually, we need much more than that. We need to do all the social media things, the power hour, whatever your mentor is directing you to do in your business hours for social media. We continue to do that. We do not let off the gas. We live out loud. We're inspiring. If I went to your page, I would say you're engaging, you're entertaining, you're informational, you're giving me value. I love your recipes. Like, I should be like, I want to choose you as my health coach. Go audit your social media. Would you choose yourself as your health coach? That's a big question. And then community outreach. I want you to think of it. We are a mission. Every mission has outreach in order to have in reach. Okay. So if we have forsaken the community outreach and we're just relying on social media, you're going to have a slow go 2-point system. Okay. But if you're like, no, I'm doing that and I'm out in my community, what I want to challenge you with is what kind of community sets you on fire. So I'll throw some examples out there. Empty nesters that like to bowl. Why not have a bowling night and invite all kind of empty nesters? And we don't call it healthy bowling. Okay. We just go bowling and we invite everyone and we pay for the lanes and we whatever. And we're just outreach, empty nesters, something to do. Maybe it's, I love pickleball. Start a pickleball, outreach. The point is, it's not all health, health, health. It's having something that people come to. And then when you connect, that you could say, you might want to come to this healthy happy hour that I'm having at my house next month. Yes. I mean, I've been playing pickleball with you. Yeah, let's do that. Great. I'm going to send you a recipe. We're doing a swap. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can kind of see what we eat and how we do this healthy thing. And because they might be asking how you stay fit or what's that thing you're eating. So outreach always leads to in-reach. If you have no outreach in your business will still go, but it's going to go slow and you're not going to have as much fun. I told Julie Russell, I'm like, hey, you're an adventure mama, right? You like to scale mountains and surf. So create an adventure moms outreach where baby in tow, we're doing stuff, right? What this should look like is not work. This should look like something that you're like, oh, that's playing for me. Playing is what we do as health coaches and we call it work. We go have coffee, we go have connection, we go have conversations, right? So think about that, plan that. What kind of lead sharing do you have for your business? Another log on the fire. Who do you patron? Who do you give money to regularly that could share your before and after? Who does your taxes? Who does your nails? Who does your lashes? And have you asked them to help you grow your business so that you can come and grow theirs, right? It's very reciprocal. How about family members that love you oh so much and they're not really sure about what you do? Can they check out a Monday night call and maybe share your story? Have you even asked? Or influencers, right? Have you picked up the phone in your business and called your warm network and said, I need your help. I need your help. And what are they going to say whenever you call a human being and you say, Ashley, I need your help? What's up, girl? Listen, you know my transformation story, right? Obviously, I'm feeling amazing. I'm really working on my health, working on my goals. Yeah, you look amazing. It's so inspiring. Okay, what you don't know, maybe, is that I am looking to partner with other people that want to do what I do and want to make an impact. And I think really highly of you. And I would love to explore that with you. It may be a fit, it may not be a fit, but I'm looking for people to partner with to go out and change the trajectory of health. and you were top of mind, or if you just want them to help you get your, get the story out for clients. The point is, when I met with Dan Bell this weekend, he said they picked up the phone and they called people and they got the word out. So if you're not doing that, you're missing a log. And that's why the business is not predictable. We probably are starting to rely on social media a bit too much. Okay. So think about that. A blending mindset is not about getting coaches. It is about giving the most value to your clients and giving your clients a future. Look for clients that would make great coaches, and look for coaches that would make great clients. When I share on a health assessment, the fifth component, this is how I share it. Thomas, we have 5 components to our program that set us apart from anything you will ever look at. And I go through the 4. And then I say, but the 5th one is really the set apart wraparound differentiator. And what that is that on our program, Thomas, the student becomes the teacher. And then I quiet and I let them take that in for a minute. And I say, and do you know why? Nope. Well, because sometimes they give a guess and it's pretty good. And I go, really good. But here's why. Because when anyone teaches anything, they have 85% more retention. I would love to give you 85% more retention on lifelong transformation and see if you have breakthrough, because I know you can. And people are going to be asking, because remember, we're achieving all the goals you just went through on that health assessment with me. We're not going to fail. And the longer we practice these habits, the more they're going to become permanent. Coaches stick around. Okay. So I'm not going to get into that right now, but I wanted to let you know that that sharing component, that educating component, is the differentiator of our program. And it's why we have such wild success. And I say it like that, okay? No one has said to me, I don't understand that. We just did a call with, Kristen Reyes was on that call. We just did it, and it was a practice call. And we said that to the client, and she said, I said, does that make sense? And she said, that makes perfect sense. So I think that we're overthinking it, and it's our ego and need to protect that's causing us to not sponsor more people. Because it's really simple. If you want to change the world, you have to change education. And the only way they're going to get education is to be an educator of what they're learning. So try that on this week and see how that fits. Team coaching, if that's missing, as I mentioned earlier, sponsoring will stop in your organization. So if you're new and you're like, well, I'm doing that, keep doing it. This is more for when it's like, well, scheduling was difficult, so I just didn't, right? Scheduling will be difficult sometimes with your mentor. Do it on the night before call. Don't wait till the last minute. Get their schedule ahead of time. And if that's happening, scheduling is not difficult. Your mentors are highly motivated to help you sponsor, and so they will make that time. Associate director, right? So we're going to go into an accountability group. If you're an associate director or a director, that's 3 or 4 points in your business. We're inviting you into an accountability group. DM your mentors for details. This is going to be a group that works this out together and builds up to executive director, and then you might go into a different accountability group. And if you're like, well, I only have 2 points right now, I'm just manager. Great. You keep doing these things, and as soon as you have 3 points, you can be added to that group, right? We're going to be doing very specific things to help people that are 3 points to blend right up to ED, and it's not going to take a long time. Okay. So actions to take back: a crystal clear why. Why are you coaching? Make it personal, make it selfish. Okay. If that word brings you inward a little bit more, use it. It's not selfish by any means, but sometimes that gets us to think about, what do I want? What do I need to be healthy in all those 7 aspects that she mentioned earlier? And how can this vehicle help me with that? Community outreach. If you have nothing planned in your home or in your community for September and October, plan it. Collaborate with other people. Don't overthink it. It could be a meal swap where you give out the recipes, everyone brings some disposable Tupperware, you share and swap lean and greens, everybody goes home with 5 or 6, and you're showing your community healthy eating is not boring. Start with your neighbors. Go door to door and tell them what you do. Invite them into your home. Don't overthink it. This is how we started this business. We bootstrapped it. I was teaching at gyms and going and knocking on doors and saying to gym owners, I would like to teach health and well-being along with your workouts. It will help your members to look and feel better. Would you allow me to do that? I won't be selling anything. I'll have a sign-up sheet for health assessments if they're interested. And that's how I started our business. And that's how I will finish our business, because our business requires outreach. You will not just do it behind the screen. You'll put too much pressure on your social media than is needed, and you'll think you're a failure when you're not, because you're waiting for that one thing to happen. Let that happen and then layer the other logs as well. Every single client has an integration call. If this hasn't been happening in your business, go clean it up. If you have 4 clients this month and you're like, I don't have 4 schedules with my mentor, schedule them up. That will take care of it. That will start the engine of sponsoring, which will be missional. So I really hope that this was helpful. Sorry for my bumpy start. I'll get better. And I really hope that this was helpful for you guys and that you can apply some of this and continue to grow the mission in your business. Thank you all. Good night.